This week, my guest is Joe Truini, who's my co-host of my national radio show and also takes care of our Simple Solutions segment within our national television show. Joe, glad that I could grab you for a little bit of fun here on the Ask Danny podcast.
Absolutely. But you forgot to mention I'm also your fishing buddy.
That's right. That's right. Not only we don't always catch them, but we do go after them from time to time.
we chase them around the lake or the river or whatever.
They know we're there because we fish from.
We've caught our few. Yeah, we've caught our
sun up to sundown.
That's
no doubt
right,
about it.
Right. Yeah, hey, thanks for having me on the podcast. I'm glad to join you.
Well, I tell you, the Simple Solutions have been so popular for all these years. We're, on our 25th season on national television now. That's with right. Our television show, and everybody loves the Simple Solutions. So we thought from time to time here on the Ask Danny podcast, we would have Joe kind of group together certain, like the top 5 in certain areas of the home. And on this podcast, we're going to explore a few bathroom Simple Solutions, and a lot of these have become some of the most popular because it's those nagging, ongoing type of problems that people have, and Simple Solutions take care of it. So let's get started with the very first one, Joe, about the shower doors and how you can really make those things look a lot cleaner than they normally do.
Absolutely, Danny. We get calls and emails all the time about glass shower doors. People love them. But how do you keep them from spotting? Water spots, like soap scum, and and you're constantly cleaning them. It's like you spend more time cleaning the shower doors than you do yourself taking a shower.
Yeah, that's right.
So here's one you might not have thought of. We have lots of different cleaning Simple Solutions, but here's one you might not have thought of to use. You have to go to the auto parts store and buy yourself. The most popular brand is called Rain-X. There might be a couple other brands, and it's designed for cleaning windshields of cars and trucks. And the great thing about this type of glass cleaner is that it contains a rain repellent, so that when you're driving, the rain will sheet off the windshield a lot easier. So if you use it on your shower doors, you can spray it on the inside. You can spray it on the outside as well, just to clean them, but specifically on the inside. Just spray it on and wipe it off. You can use almost any kind of cloth. I prefer a microfiber cloth because it doesn't leave any lint behind, and you can just toss it in the washing machine when you're done. But if you spray it on and clean it off, I usually do 2 coats, spray it on, clean it off, and spray on another one. And what you'll find once it dries, when the shower water hits it, it'll just sheet right off. It'll run right off. It won't stick and bead up. And so what happens, of course, if it gets stuck, if the beads of water stay there and dry, they leave little spots behind. So that's the first one, how to clean glass shower doors.
All right, that's great. That's a good start, Joe. Okay, what about all of the calls we get from people asking questions about the odor in their bathroom sink? Anytime, if you've ever removed a P-trap, the drain section from any existing bathroom sink that's been there a little while, it's always amazing what lurks inside those pipes.
Yes.
So how can you keep that smell from invading your in your bathroom when we encourage people to use their exhaust fans, but an exhaust fan actually can pull an odor out of a drain. What do you recommend? Where's the Simple Solution comes in for this one?
Yeah, because we're using the sinks for a lot of soap and shaving cream and, of course, hair when you're shaving, not all of it makes it through to the drain system and gets carried out of the house. Some of it gets trapped in the trap, and that's the reason it's called the trap, because it holds a little bit of water to block sewer gases from coming back into the house. Now, in most homes, you probably should really remove that trap and clean it out, maybe once a year, once every couple of years, depending how often you use that sink. But here's a way to keep it clean in between dismantling it and really scrubbing out that trap. What you want to do is take 1/3 cup of baking soda and pour it into the drain, followed by 1 cup of distilled white vinegar. And then, as soon as you pour it in, you'll get this reaction where it'll really fizz up and bubble up. And you just wait a few seconds for that to kind of calm down a little bit. Then you want to follow that up with a full kettle of boiling hot water. Get a tea kettle, bring it to boiling, and pour it in there. And what the result will be, you'll not only get a clean smelling drain, but it'll be free flowing too, because all that hot water and the vinegar will clear out the tailpiece, which is the pipe that comes straight down, and the curved trap. So that's a good way to keep your sink. And we're talking about the bathroom sink, but of course you can use this on any sink to keep it clean and deodorized.
And that's good. You don't have all of, the harsh chemicals or pouring any kind
None.
of,
Yeah.
drain cleaner, things like that. No, I don't know of any master plumber that ever says, yeah, just pour another quart of
Right.
Drano down there or whatever. This is
Yeah.
a much more passive way and very, very effective. That's great. Hey, now we're going through all of the top 5 bathroom simple solutions. And I'll remind you, you can drop by today'shomeowner.com/simple solutions to check out over 550 other simple solutions. Joe, what do you have for number 3 involving that important fixture in the bathroom, the toilet? What can you do there?
The toilet. There's a common problem that people hear water dribbling through the toilet. It's not leaking out of the toilet, but it's actually draining from the tank into the bowl. And it's a very slight little dribble, and it doesn't sound like much. It's just a little annoying dripping, dripping, dripping. But what you're doing is you're wasting water. Right? Because that water is dripping through there and you're wasting water. And sooner or later, that problem is going to get worse. And almost every single time that happens, it's caused by a faulty flapper valve. If you take the top off the tank and take a peek in there, you'll see at the very bottom, there's a round rubber piece that covers the drain hole and it holds the water in the tank. And when you flush the handle, push the flush handle, that raises up to allow the water to rush into the bowl. Well, if there's any defect in that flapper valve, and sometimes it has it's cracked or it's a piece is missing or often it even comes from the factory with a little wrinkle in it and it's just enough to let water dribble underneath it. So what you want to do is replace it. You can buy a replacement for just a couple of bucks. It takes less than 5 minutes to replace. Just unhook the chain, snap it off the fitting at the bottom, snap it back on. And by replacing that valve, you'll stop that wasting of water as it dribbles from the tank into the bowl.
And you're talking about potentially hundreds and hundreds of gallons of water, hundreds
right.
of dollars also going down there. And so that one's well worth taking a look at that one. Okay, we're going to number 4 on the top 5 bathroom simple solutions.
And this has to do with cleaning the tile floors. Most baths have tile floors, and of course the tiles themselves get a little dirty, but the grout in particular gets dirty. And there are several. Most people just get a scrub brush, a stiff nylon scrub brush, and clean the floor, and that's fine. But it takes a bit of time to do it and a little bit of elbow grease.
Sure.
So I found a way of using a cordless drill, right, Danny? We're always looking to add a little power to our cleaning jobs. And what I did is I went out and I bought a round, stiff bristle scrub brush and I cut the handle off. I drilled a hole in the middle and I put a machine bolt through it and with a nut, I tightened it on. So now I have the bolt sticking up through the top of this scrubbing head and I just chuck it into a drill. I think the bolt was about 4 inches long. I chucked it into my cordless drill and I sprayed a little grout cleaner on the floor and I used the power of the drill to power scrub the floor. And in a matter of minutes, you can do the average size bathroom. Wouldn't take you more than 10 minutes to do the entire floor, not only the grout joints, but of course the tiles themselves.
Now, a homeowner might say, well, I have one of these little wheels. I have one that's wire brushes. Why not just use that? We don't want to ever recommend that at all.
No, especially a metal wire brush. First of all, you'll pull the grout right out from between the tiles. So you don't want to do that. And plus, the wire bristles can get left behind. And of course, in a wet environment like that, they'll rust and they'll end up staining the grout. And then you have a whole nother problem. So yeah, don't do that. Nylon bristles, first of all, they last a long time. They're pretty affordable. Just get a really stiff bristle one because some of them are not quite as stiff as they should be.
All right, going into number 5 on our Bath Simple Solutions. And Joe, this is one that I have certainly used myself, and I would encourage anyone next time you take a shower, look up real closely at that shower head, and when the water's coming out of it, is it coming out of there evenly? Do you see maybe a few of the outlets that just aren't allowing water to come out? It's a common problem when you get, a little bit of deposits on those little small holes that come out. Now, some of the newer ones are kind of designed not to allow this to happen, but there's millions and millions of older ones out there that can really benefit from this simple solution. Tell us all about it, Joe.
Yeah, when the shower head gets clogged up, even if it's just partially clogged, it it dramatically reduces not only the amount of water coming out, but the pressure of the water coming out. And some people might think there's a water pressure problem in the house, and it's almost never the case. It's usually a clogged shower head. And why is it getting clogged up? Well, there's several reasons. It could be hard water deposits, if you have hard water, mineral deposits. It could be sediment, if you don't have a sediment filter on your home and you're drawing water from a well, it could be a little bit of dirt. So here's this simple solution. Take a 1-gallon plastic bag, like a Ziploc bag, and slip it over the shower head. Then pour in about a cup or so of distilled white vinegar. You want enough white vinegar in there that you can submerge the entire shower head. Then just secure the bag with a twist tie or some string or something like that. And again, it's really important that the entire shower head, the bottom part of the shower head, is submerged in the vinegar. Then just let it sit there for a day or two. What happens is that vinegar has just enough acidity that'll eat away and dissolve those hard water deposits and any sediment that might be in the shower head. And then after a day or two, take it down and blast some hot water, and you'll see just doing that. If it's really severely clogged, you may have to do this a second time, but I've never had to do it twice. If you do it often enough, and then you have a nice shower that the water will be flowing clearly through every single one of those little tiny ports.
Because that's always, for that shower experience, I love some good pressure rolling through there.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'll tell you, Joe, if you have a really old shower head, it may look old. It may not be providing you the kind of pressure that you could get with a newer one. A newer one, they have so much technology has been applied to making sure that you get as much water out of there as you can, and almost self-cleaning as it goes along. So that might be just a simple little improvement that you want to do in your bathroom and in your shower. And most of them are adjustable. Some of the newer ones are adjustable so that one person might like the pulsating type of spray. Somebody else might want the full shower spray. So either way, you're able to adjust to that. So that's another good little project that you can do. Hey, we want to remind you, we would love to hear if you have some suggestions on a simple solution that's worked well for you. Now, whether it's a bathroom or whatever, we would encourage you to go to todayshomeowner.com/podcast and go ahead and send in your suggestion, and we'll share it with all of our listeners throughout the country. We always appreciate those, and Joe does a great job in constantly assembling simple solutions because we tape 26 of these per year for the television show and dozens more that we use through our radio show. But Joe, always appreciate you being on with us, and there we go with solving some quite a few bathroom problems that people have around their house.
Oh, my pleasure, Danny. I love coming up with these simple solutions, and part of the reason I love doing it is I get to share it with our listeners on the radio show and the podcast and on TV. They can go and check out the videos. We have them all online. Like you said, over 500 of them. When I think about that, that's a lot of simple solutions.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah. That's all right. We love it, and we're going to keep them going. We're going to keep them going.
There you go. Exactly right. And thanks so much for listening to this special Ask Danny podcast. Talk to you soon.